Kidnap City Racing. Let's talk about our first week's race, all right? In the end, I ended up winning the race, and I know there's a lot of you are new at racing in SL. It's not much to it. It's pretty simple. But I want to tell you why I think I won this race, and it's not because I was a faster driver or a better driver.
Whoa.
I think it was because I just managed to stay out of trouble more.
Love you.
If we could back up and let's take a look at this again. Okay, looking at the beginning, the start of the race, which is my case in point, and I could find a bunch of instances throughout the race where it's the same thing. As the start came, the first lap or two is lots of times in SL is full of crashes. And you're going to see me hanging back to the rear of the pack, just hoping I could snake through the big crashes that are going to happen in front of me and try to stay out of them. I stay high on the track. I stay back far enough. And this first lap or two, I managed to get through the crashes that were going to happen as planned. I was, it doesn't always work. I wouldn't even say I was any better than anybody else at staying out of the wrecks. I mean, you could try hard as you want, and lots of times the wrecks are just going to find you. So here we go. Green flag coming up. And they're off. Right away, I'm going high. I tend to think everybody's going to want to try to go low. I'm just trying to stay away from people. This is the most dangerous part of the race, being everybody starting in that one little small grid, that small area. There's not a lot of room for error. So I'm creating some room, some space for myself. Several times I lifted off the accelerator here. I didn't want to get up into people's rear ends. I didn't want to get. I'm just decreasing my chances here of coming in contact with anybody. Not a guarantee. And like I said, lots of times a crash is going to happen in front of you, and you think you can avoid it, and you can't. It doesn't always work out. I mean, you see the gap before me, between myself and that pack of cars there. I put that gap there by lifting off the gas pedal like many times. It's not time to scratch and claw for position yet. Here we go. Have to avoid that. I was far enough back where I just managed. If I was any closer, I would have been involved in that wreck. Now, these cars are fun cars, but they do steer rather sharply, and that does tend to lead to a lot of crashes. If you were in the old RAR league, the cars they don't steer quite as hard, and there are less crashes and less drastic than this. And if you use this, here's another crash, hoping I can avoid that. I'll get back to that other subject, and I just managed to avoid this as well. But this is something you couldn't use this strategy with the RAR cars. If you did and you hung back, you'd lose the lead, the lead draft of the lead pack, and you could also lose it here, and it might be detrimental. But as you see, I've just tried to stay back, stay slow, stay out of trouble, and that alone launched me into third place. We can watch it one more time a little bit faster, give you a little more live time. stay up, stay back, stay away. Don't scratch and claw and try to like fight for every inch with all these other cars. It's just going to lead to a disaster. It's 110 laps this race. You're not going to win it in the first lap. Definitely not with these cars. As fun as they are prone to big crashes. Still staying back. I'm still lifting off the gas pedal. Going slower than everybody else intentionally, waiting. And there it is. You don't want to get too far back. You want to try to hold on. You want to be close enough. There's another crash. And manage to stay low out of that. If you're too far back, you lose the draft of the pack. I mean, you don't want to be too far back, but get up in there, avoid that crash, try to hang on to the lead draft. And here we go. Now we're off to the races, and I've only got two cars to avoid collisions with. All right, that's the strategy. Let the pack weed itself out. Try to run it with whatever's left over. Now, when you do catch, here's another one. Oops. Looks like RJ got picked off there. All right, now we got a lapped car. All right, want to stay with the leader. I waited, you try not to get under somebody and force it. You wait for him to make a mistake. Like, I'll lift there, lift, lift. I want to make sure it's safe to go under. No hurry to pass. And there you go. Patience paid off once again. Now, again, I didn't really make any passes, yet here I am in first place. I don't think I've even passed a car yet. Now we have a lapped car here. I think that's Rachel. All right. And took a little chance there. Try to get in front of her. And I paid for it. I'll get wrecked again, in the lapped cars here. Well, now here we go. I shortcut it. There's my first pit stop. We missed a whole bunch of laps. I cut right out. Here's how the pit stops go. You just bump into the wall there and zoom in your mouse. I didn't get a full tank. This was the qualifying race, the 40 lapper. I didn't need that much to finish. I just wanted to hang on to first. I didn't want to spend a lot of time in the pits because it's a point. If you win this race and you win pole position, you win a point. 1 point for the season. So here we go. See that? Lift off the gas pedal, stay out of trouble. I could have fought and scratched and clawed to keep that position, but I'm not racing against that car. That car's a lap down. Anyway, there's the results of the first heat race. Now on to the main event, 110 laps, and I have the pole. So hanging back and staying out of trouble is not an option. People are going to be coming up to my ass end. They're going to be passing me out, and I'm just trying to stay alive. You'll see I will not scratch and claw and fight and try to hold a position. I will not try to stay low so no one can get around me. I see somebody coming, rather than get wrecked, I'll make room. I'll let them go. It's early in a race. As long as I stay with them and don't lose them, I'm fine. It's not time to scratch and claw. It's time to avoid crashes. It's a dance. It's not a MMA bout. It's a dance. You're just trying to not step on his toes. Hopefully he won't step on your toes. I'm not even trying to pass them out. I'm lifting off the accelerator. I'm just trying to survive. And this is why I think I won both races. There may have been others out there that were trying the same strategy. Sometimes it doesn't work because something happens in front of you that's unavoidable, or you do something wrong, or somebody hits you wrong, or whatever. But this is it. This is the this is how I run with these cars scripted the way they are. Okay, I'll let them go right by me again. You know, I got past them just because it happened. I don't think I really tried. I almost caused a wreck right there. He stays pretty low, pretty tight most of the time. He doesn't like to give up the spot. I'm just waiting for him to really make a big mistake, and then I'll go underneath. I'm not trying to force it. You know, he's focusing so I don't get around him. Right? I figure after 110 laps, he'd get pretty tired of that. And something happened there. I think a car came out of the pits and took him off his line, and I just managed to get around. Got lucky there, and he's the second 1.2 behind me. So that's how I run that. And that should about wrap up the video. I'm not going to show you the whole 110 laps. I just hope that it helps some of you out there that maybe are a little frustrated with the amount of crashes you're getting into. And maybe you just want to rethink your tactics or your strategy. It's not 100% effective, you know, but I think it'll increase your chances. It's no fun being a lap or two down early in a race because when you lose hope, it's almost like you need to have a little bit of hope during the race to have more fun. And I guess it's a good time to cover how we do the championship in the league here. There's always hope because the last race of the season, if you're ranked in the top five, even if it's number five that you're ranked, you have a chance to win the championship of the season. So right up to the last race, most people are still going to have a chance to break into that number five slot and run for that championship race. The championship race isn't a race of just the five racers. It's everybody races that race, but the only ones that have the chance of winning the championship are the top five. So there is hope. Even if you're having a bad race and you're coming in last place, you could still make that top five for the end of the season and win that big trophy. So that's it. Signing out. See you next race. Take care.